Michel Barnier, during his statement after the fifth round of Brexit talks, said the negotiations had reached a disturbing deadlock. Ian Duncan-Smith claimed the European Union would eventually agree to a deal with the UK to avoid having to agree on WTO terms with Britain if there was a no deal. The Conservative MP added that the EU is deeply unpopular with the World Trade Organization already, and would want to avoid further talks. Speaking on talk radio, he said in a negotiation, you have to make it very clear to the other partners in the negotiation that you have alternatives to what is going on. These alternatives affect them at the same time. Getty BBC. Ian Duncan-Smith explained why the European Union would agree to a Brexit deal with the UK. The European Union does not want to be sitting in Geneva with the WTO, where they are deeply unpopular and where the WTO itself has some fairly critical remarks to make to them about what they do already in existence. There are real issues here that Europe knows very well. They would rather end up with an arrangement, but you have to make these things clear as part of a negotiation. If you have nothing else in your hand, then you lie in the hands of the other side, and that is never a good place to be. Speaking after the fifth round of Brexit talks, EU negotiator Mr. Barnier insisted that there was will on the European side to agree to a deal with Britain. The European Union does not want to be sitting in Geneva with the WTO. Ian Duncan-Smith, he said, I think there is a real will on the European Union side to build a strong and lasting relationship of cooperation with the UK, and the present government of the United Kingdom has chosen to implement the exit of the UK from the European Union, but also the exit from the single market and the customs union. So, when the time comes, we will talk about a free trade agreement, and we will be ready to do that whilst respecting the full integrity of the single market and the European Union's decision-making autonomy there. Slowly but surely, over the next few weeks, I will explore ways of getting out of this deadlock we find ourselves in on the financial issues with a view to making sufficient progress by the next European Council. Wednesday, September 13, 2017. David Davis called on the European Council to give Mr. Barnier the remit to start trade talks. Both negotiators conceded both sides were under preparation for the prospect of a no-deal scenario if talks fail. Speaking after the negotiations, Mr. Davis added, as the Prime Minister said yesterday, the UK is planning for all outcomes. It's not what we seek. We want to see a good deal, but we are planning for everything. It's the duty of a responsible government to plan for all scenarios, however improbable, and that's what we are doing.